making diagrams. This is something that is really helpful, and comparisons of what is being analyzed may help in the decision-making process. If you make diagrams, if you are a visual learner, one of the things that I did, and it helped me completely, I didn't understand the passage at all, was the story where, what's his name? Laban chased after Jacob, going back to Padan Aram. I'm going back to Israel from Padan Aram, okay? And when he did that, there's a very precise order in which he did certain things. Let me read it to you so you know what I'm talking about, and this will help you understand why we do diagrams. It's going to take me a second to find this particular passage. It's probably about Genesis 30-something, 31, 32, 30, Esau company, okay. Jacob was on his way, donkeys, okay, there's 31, okay. It's very precise. If you watch the sermon, it's very incredible. And then the same pattern follows again later with the naming of the sons of Israel. So I know that what I did was correct because the Lord is giving us a second pattern in it. But it says here, Laban, and now you have surely gone because you greatly long for your father's house. But why did you, Genesis 31:30, why did you steal my gods? Then Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, perhaps you would take your daughters from me by force. With whomever you find your gods, do not let him live. In the presence of our brethren, identify what I have of yours and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. So he's innocent. He doesn't know what's happened. And now Laban is going to start searching for his gods among the company of people. And Laban, listen to how it goes. Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into two maids' tents, but he did not find them. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's tent. It just said, read it again. Laban went into Jacob's tent, 1, went into Leah's tent, 2, and into the two maids' tents, 3, but he did not find them. Then he went out of Leah's tent. That's the fourth action, but it comes after the second action. It skips over the two maids. Why did he do that? Why does the Bible say that? Okay, if you want to understand, you've got to go back and watch the sermon, because I had to diagram it out. I figured it out. It is marvelous in what it's telling us. It's wonderful. But guess what? The naming of the sons of Israel follows the same pattern. So you're going to see this later, or maybe it was before. Maybe the naming was before, but I figured it out later. Anyway, you'll see it in the sermons. They're in order. But that is the kind of thing sometimes you have to do, is you have to say, why? Why did the Lord put that in there? Because it's very specific. I mean, isn't that bizarre? He goes into Leah's tent, then he goes Jacob's tent, then Leah's tent, then he goes into the maid's tent, and he comes out of Leah's tent. Why did he do that? Why did the Lord put that in the Word? Well, go watch that sermon and you'll understand what the Lord is trying to tell you. But everything like that has a purpose. Okay? That hasn't come to my mind in probably 8 years. I mean, that sermon's got to be 8 years old. And I did it. I remember sitting at the dinner table with Hideko, and I was sitting there like this. It was dinner time. I couldn't eat. I'm just sitting there. And I'm thinking and thinking. I've been thinking for 4 days. And finally, all of a sudden, I'm like, that's it. I said, Hideko, I need you to draw a little diagram, which is on it's on the video itself. You can see the little picture that she drew, little tents with little flags on them and stuff. And as soon as I got it, I ate. I was so hungry, I hadn't eaten, I couldn't do anything. Do you remember that day? She's shaking her head. I said, you got to draw out this diagram. This will explain why this is happening. Marvelous. Anyway, okay.